So I guess welcome. This is gonna be a small, I guess you can call it a side quest, or just interlude. I guess is better. Just a social encounter involving you, Aura. So I guess we can just get right into it. I don't know. I don't do a lot of one-to-one stuff, but I enjoy it. So the last thing you remember
Oh my god.
is just you in the forest with Beavis, Leotorin, and Braum. And it's the fireballs and it's Residua talking to you. You on your knees. And her just saying, "What happened to you, my child? Where did you go? You left us. You were family." And then Braum was dead. And Leotorin was dead. And it was darkness. And the next thing you remember is your eyes sort of flittering open slowly. And the bright light of fire in darkness. The dark forest. Fire from your sisters. As you're dragged, tied up, alongside a small, tied up Beavis.
My god.
An unmoving Leotorin, and a scorched and unmoving Braum. And you see your sisters just there, dragging you. They don't seem to have noticed your consciousness slowly coming in. But you are weak, you are hurt, and you see at the front of the pack Residua just kind of leading everyone. And unless you do anything, they just drag you for a while. A couple minutes maybe. Until eventually you get to a portion of the forest where you recognize it. From when you ran away, and you remember crossing a barrier after which you no longer saw the burning huts and tents behind you. You just saw forest, but smoke coming out of nowhere a couple hundred yards above the forest. It didn't make sense. You didn't know much about illusions back then, but now you can just about gather there was some kind of illusory dome hiding the kindling camp. And you feel as your body is dragged through it, and Leo's dragged through it, and Braum is dragged through it, and Beavis. And you see not what you're expecting. You see large, fully grown trees. You see tents back up. You see huts. Everything seems to be almost exactly the way you left it. But you are not dragged straight into camp. At some point, you stop just outside of where you see the camp. It seems to be quiet. You know, there was a curfew. At night, everyone would be sent to sleep. And it was just the counselors about. And you hear Residua say, in Elven, Let's get them into the cart. We can't let anybody else see. And you watch as you hear as the others are dragged to the side, away, and then one of the sisters kind of gets near you. Are you trying to hide your consciousness, or are you just visibly awake? You're not like completely conscious. You're still pretty rattled.
I'm gonna hide my consciousness.
So you just sort of lull your eyes a bit, let yourself droop, and you feel yourself picked up by the feet and by the shoulders. Your hands are currently bound at your chest like in a cross. And you feel yourself fall almost into what? You're raised a couple feet at least. And you feel yourself dropped into what feels like leaves or hay. And you let go. And then you hear the moving of wheels, like a cart. And you open your eyes a little bit, and all you see is like hay, foliage, bramble. You seem to have been dropped inside of a cart full of these things. And the cart moves for probably only 2-3 minutes, and stops. Where things are silent for a bit. And then you hear Residua say, through the hay and everything, "Alright, I'll deal with them. You're all dismissed." And there's a bit of silence. And you hear a grinding of earth, like large amounts of dirt and stone moving. And everything begins to get unstable as the cart shifts, and you feel it buckle, almost like there's a slight sudden drop, not far, but like a short drop, and then things almost feel to slowly be moving down. And then what little light was peering through the hay gets covered up, and then it is pitch black. You get the sense that you are now underground.
Okay.
And after maybe another few minutes, there's more movement, and you feel yourself moving to the side.
Like the cart itself as a whole?
Yeah, it is moving perpendicular to the wheels. So it is almost it's the moving of earth again. You get the sense you know it's a capability of druids. You've never trained in it yourself. But moving mass amounts of earth and terrain is something more powerful druids are able to do, and you get the feeling that you're probably being moved underground for the sake of keeping the cart hidden. And you feel movement up now, where eventually no dirt even gets into the cart. It is very controlled movement through earth. And you know for sure it's entirely magical, like, transmutation that is getting you to move through the earth. And then some light finally peers in through the top of the cart. And You watch as a hand reaches down into the hay and grabs Beavis's body one-handed and just pulls it out of the hay. Then two hands grab Leotorn by the legs and, struggling a bit more, pull him out, and you hear a bit of a thud as presumably he falls onto the ground.
Oh.
Then hands reach for your legs. Are you going to continue to conceal your consciousness?
For a little bit longer, yes.
Alright, so you sort of lull back into an almost unconscious state, and you feel yourself pulled over the edge of a cart, like the brim of a cart, and you slam down onto the ground. And that maybe 5-foot fall is almost enough to knock you out again because of your bad state. You're barely conscious.
Take 5 off your health.
Let's roll damage, see if you stay conscious. No. Then you hear a bit of struggling. Are you going to keep your eyes closed, or are you going to try getting a sense of your surroundings?
You just said I heard struggling?
Yes. Like someone trying to pull something that's way too heavy for them.
I'ma assume that they're trying to pull Braum, but can I peek one eye open to make sure?
Yeah. With your passive perception, you see Residua standing on, I forgot what the word for it is, but there's a little platform that she's standing on the outside edge of the cart, that she is currently trying to pull Braum out of the cart and seems to be struggling. And you just hear her sing, "Wretched machine. Unnatural." And she starts turning back in your direction. Are you continuing to look, or are you concealing yourself?
Closing my eyes. I don't want her knowing that I'm awake.
She starts turning back over to you, and you close your eyes. And the next 20 or so minutes, unless you do something else, just consist of you hear dragging of bodies. You hear like rattling wood. At one point you're moved, seemingly across the room, into what you presume is some kind of container, as you hear some sort of lid or door shut, and then you hear a bit of a lock. Then you hear more like cursing under their breath as Residua. You hear the cart almost like fall apart, and a massive slam on dirt, like something very heavy just falling a few feet and just landing on earth. Then you hear a familiar transmuting of dirt as something is moved across a room. And you hear another shutting of a door. Then some footfalls. Rattling of like a door. Then more footfalls away from you. A door opening. And then silence.
Oh god, here we go. I assume I'm in a room, correct? Like kind of like an enclosed off room.
Do you want to open your eyes?
Let's go for it. I open my eyes. I want to know where I am.
You slowly open your eyes, and You see that you're in some kind of wooden cage.
Oh my.
You recognize, though, it is living wood, which is, it's almost like fibrous, woven together wood that, as its name implies, is living. It is very strong. And you're in this almost like bird cage, but human-sized. And you see across from you an unmoving Brahm, then a very burnt Leotorin, and Beavis next to you, to your left. And to your right, there is a doorway to this hut. And you don't see the cart anymore. But you do, with your passive perception, notice the earth in the center of the room seems... The rest of it seems walked upon and like flattened out over time of walking and like people moving about and stuff moving about in it. The earth in a square, like a big rectangle, in the middle of the room, then in a path leading to Brahm, almost has like hash lines through it. Which, I guess give me a materia check. Since you have yourself open, you might as well. Yeah, give me a check. Oh, you have it. You're doing blind GM. I'll reveal it, though. That is a sure sign of transmutation magic. So you assume the cart was probably parked outside of this building, then brought down through the ground, sideways under the building, then up through the ground. And then Brahm was moved from... The cart was probably disposed of in some way, you're not sure, and then transmuted across the ground into his cage.
So I know I'm in the cage with Leo, Brahm, and Beavis. Is there anybody else like in like the room outside the cage that I noticed?
No, there are no other people. You're in a what's it called? You're in a like bird cage by yourself, almost, and you see 3 others with the others in them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, the one across from you is Brahm, then Leo in one corner, then next to you, Beavis in a corner. And it's just a completely empty room with just the 4 of you.
Am I still tied up?
Yes, you're completely bound with what looks to be like living wood shackles. Yeah, it's almost like a kind of Chinese finger trap style thing where the more you feel yourself try to move, the tighter it binds itself to you. So
Dang.
you've got restraints around your ankles, then restraints like with your arms at an X across your chest around your whole torso and your arms.
And these things don't have any weaknesses? Or like a weak point at all that I know of?
I mean, generally, they are weak to fire, but you know living wood can be treated to get rid of that weakness. So really the main way to get through it is just fucking chopping through it, or some kind of temporary magic nullification that gets rid of its supernatural strength, and then just still cutting through it.
Get stuck here.
Yeah. So, unless there's anything you want to do specifically, we will cut forward in time a little bit.
Wait. Is there anything above me? Like it's what's besides like the 4 like cages in the rectangle like little spot? What's like I'm still kind of confused. Is it like a cave or like a big room where
You're
we're
in
in?
a hut. You
Okay.
were probably, like I said, in a cart on the ground level, then brought underground, under the hut, and then up into it.
Oh, okay, I get it now. And there's only one door, like one entrance, like besides the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only other thing you notice inside of the room is one empty cage. In between where Leotorin and Beavis are. So it's almost like I'll draw over Lake Galifar, if you see where that is on the map. But it's you here, then Beavis in this top left corner, Leo up here, Braum across from you, and then this empty right here, with the door over here.
And you said like one other cage, right? Do I know if it's like just they just happen to have like an extra cage, or can I infer that's like it's supposed to hold somebody else?
You, in all your time in the Ashbound, I mean, you've never met an outsider. People would get in trouble. People would be punished in certain ways. But you never remember captives of any kind.
Okay. I think that's all I can. That's all I got.
Yeah. The only other thing I guess I could mention is there is, in the top center of the room, is one continual flame, which is just a motive fire that never goes out. That's providing light to the room. So yeah, you kind of just lay there. The night passes. Eventually, you just fall asleep. It's not comfortable, but sleep takes you. And I would say, who has the better con between the two? I would say at a certain point, yeah, Beavis has a really high con. At some point, just assuming Beavis would wake up and try talking to you, but you find that she opens her mouth and nothing comes out. And then you try saying something and it's just silence.
Is this because of the cage?
You get the sense you're in some sort of area of silence.
Oh my god.
Which is probably centralized inside of the cage, because you heard Residua talking in the middle of the room.
Andrew, I'm throwing all this away? Yeah.
Eventually, we're just gonna go through time pretty quickly here, because unless you come up with a way to try to escape, you would have meals brought to you every morning. in all vegetable diet. Some fruits, but mostly vegetables. All natural products. Nothing even animal based. Just like you ate when you were back home.
Nice.
Beavis is also fed significantly less. You remember your very first day waking up that somebody walked in, unfamiliar to you, having gone over to Brahm and Leotorin and cast some spell on them. You don't know what it was. You don't. I would say, actually, you do watch, so you can make a materia check here as well. I would say materia or pneuma, whichever you want to do. They're both intelligence. It's just more which avenue do you want to look at this from a more spiritual magic or like physical magic sense.
Physical would be materia, right?
Yes, and spiritual would be pneuma.
15.
The spell is a... what's it called? It is a variation of the biomancy spell, Gentle Repose. Which essentially, you cast it on a person, and the time they have to be revived, because most resurrection spells, in your experience, even revive, have some time limit after death that they work in. Like revive is within a minute. You don't know much about higher level spells, but there is some limit there as well. So, for some reason or another, it seems the Ashbound, the Kindling specifically, have seen fit to prolong the potential life of your friends.
Hey, I'm gonna kill him. I'm just kidding.
It's nobody you recognize bringing you food.
Can I
They
try?
look like counselors. They do not seem like just members of the Kindling.
Can I try talking to one of them?
Yeah, you try speaking and nothing comes out.
Oh my god.
And they ignore you completely. Like, just they come in, they slide their food under a little chute, like, or a little slot underneath the door, on a particularly big leaf, like arrangement of leaves, and then just leave. They feed you, they feed Beavis, and they leave. And it is that for about a week. Then, maybe on the 9th day, later in the day, you start losing track of time other than seeing the doors open every once in a while when you get fed. But a familiar brown-haired druid comes in, braided down to their back, in leathers, woven with leaves. Residua comes in.
And I watch her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I just throw her the nastiest look. The nastiest dank face that I can muster.
And it's unfortunate, because you remember really liking Residua. She was the closest thing you had to a mother. And it almost feels like the ultimate betrayal to you. Other than, like, your friends themselves turning on you. But she comes in. She looks first at your friends. Then over to you. And has a very solemn look on her face. And you're giving her, like, the stink eye.
Yeah.
You're mean mugging her. And she just says, I hope you know I didn't want to do that. I truly didn't. I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't have a choice. Then you see she starts to almost water up a little bit.
I mean,
And
holy shit, my room looks like a bomb went off. After all this cleaning, it's shocking.
she looks at you and she, like, steps forward a bit and she almost seems like she's expecting you to say something in return. Oh. Yeah. She almost looks at you like she's expecting you to say something back, but then realizes you can't.
oh, okay.
And then moves up. You see her glance down at the lock. Then, like, straighten herself up and walk for the door.
What's the lock? Like the lock to the cage?
It's weird. It's also living wood. You've learned about living wood in your time in the Ashbound. It is one of the stronger substances that the Ashbound have access to, in that, for the most part, I mean, almost completely, they don't condone the processing of metals. And you see that it looks just like a lock, almost like a padlock in a way, except blockier. You don't see, like, the little half ring. It's just a full-on block attached to the door with a keyhole in it.
Yeah. And I didn't see anyone with the key.
No.
What if?
Yeah. And stop me if there's anything else, anything you have planned or want to try.
I would like to try and see if I can create, like, a replica of the key.
With what?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I have damn, I don't have, like, shit like that. Hold on. What's plant growth? Is there any, like, normal plants around?
I mean, there's grass. There is no floor. It's all dirt and grass.
Can I, like, channel, like, a bunch of fucking grass? Like, have them, like, braided up into a key?
You try to cast a spell, but you are incapable of making somatic components with your hands bound.
Ah, so I have to. Can I like try to force? I'm being fed, right?
You're being
So
fed.
my strength has to be up.
Yeah,
I
in
try
theory,
like.
you've rested. You're at full.
Can I like try to like test it?
Make a athletics or force check.
Ooh, I'm scared. Athletics or force. Both of these suck ass.
Okay. So you
So
force
what happens?
you force against the living wood shackles, and the more you force, the more you feel it pushing back on you, and you swear it's gonna shatter your ankles, or you can keep trying.
My God. What if I just like try as little as possible? Like I just try to like slip.
Yeah, you try just you relent on the force you're putting on the shackles, and you try to just like slither out of them. But they seem, even at a base, wound tightly enough to not let you move.
What can I do? Let me know if you try anything. Everything I try. Ugh. Okay. Well, I'm guessing I'm waiting for the next time somebody comes in.
You wait
Oh,
another
wait, wait,
few.
wait.
Yep.
What if I just what if so I start refusing to eat and I fake being unconscious.
Okay. So you start refusing to eat. Beavis looks insanely worried from her crate. Um, they notice you not take your first meal, and the person feeding you just like gives you a strange look, but just leaves the food there. Your second meal, they still bring it to you. By the end of the first day, they continue to bring you your food, but you haven't eaten anything. By the next day, your stomach is aching, but you're, I assuming, not relenting.
Yes.
And this goes on for, let's see. Didn't mean to make that full screen. I'm pretty sure I don't want to get this wrong, but are you also not drinking?
Oh God.
Because they do provide water as well.
I take a few sips.
Okay, because I would say people only last like 3 days without water. You would very quickly be dying yourself. But are you? So you're saying you're doing enough to keep yourself alive, but have your condition still worsen? Is what I'm hearing.
I want them to believe my conditions have worsened,
Okay.
so I can just fake being unconscious and then have them come into the cage.
Okay. So you do this for another few days. They seem to notice that you're still drinking. Because you haven't died yet by day 4.
They were just gonna let me die?
What's it called? But by day 5, Have you still not eaten?
No, I think I've eaten.
Okay.
I gave in. Oh, wait! No, was something gonna happen? Fuck!
Yeah, so you eat. And, about what day would you say you would have eaten by?
Probably that 5th day.
Yeah, so they bring you food, breakfast, your 5th day, and you just go to town on that plate of veggies, and you get the meanest of mugging by the person who brought you your food, who, unlike the routine they usually do of just coming in and immediately leaving, they stand and watch for a bit as you eat.
I pretend to choke.
Make a performance check.
18.
Yeah, you take in a bunch of veggies and a bunch of fruits just frantically, and you start, like, rocking back and forth, like, grasping at your throat, or trying to, with your hands bound. And they notice this, and they relent for a bit, but they go up to the crate, and they go up to the cage and put their hand up to the lock, and you see just a flash of magic as the door swings open.
Do I know what kind of magic that was? Or am I just so in...
Roll materia.
Come on! Fuck!
No. You're too into it. Which is good, because you convince them to open up the crate, or the cage, and they go in and they grab by the, like, living wood by your shoulder, and, like, throw you down onto your stomach and start going for Heimlich.
How close are they? Like, where is their face, like, in relevance to my head?
They're right up behind you trying to do Heimlich.
Okay, I'm gonna fucking whip my head back and headbutt them.
So, what you assume would be a gnarly crunch, is just deafeningly silent. Because of the magic. But you feel the impact. And you feel a bit of a dribble of warm down your head.
Damn!
As you are pushed forward and slammed into the living wood like bars. And you turn just in time to catch, like, an open palm just right to the cheek.
Damn!
As they full on just smack the food out of your mouth. And then grab you by the collar, holding you far enough to not be able to headbutt anymore. And you feel their hands start to warm up hot against your skin.
No! Can I also... Oh, wait, no. I can't magic either. But the lock is gone, right?
The lock is gone, and they're holding you.
Can I try to, like, heat up as well?
Make a... So anytime I ask for a spell casting check, what that means is you're a wisdom caster, right? And you're proficient in spell casting. So just make a wisdom check plus proficiency. So make a spell casting check is what I'm saying.
Like that?
Then plus 3, because your proficiency is 3.
Okay. 16.
So 16. Yeah, you start to warm up in turn. And they, they just throw you back against the bars and you like fall onto your ass, and they just start to leave the cage quickly, slam the door behind them, and you watch as the door closes, the living wood fibers like mend to each other and interweave, and the door locks again.
Do I catch the mechanism that time?
What do you mean?
Like how the lock kind of works?
Yeah, it seems to be some form of transmutation. It doesn't seem like a physical, like, lock and key type situation. It is some sort of transmuting to the wood to like become a solid object and intertwine, and then undoing that with a touch. So it's not a lock and key situation.
Think I'm getting somewhere?
Later that night,
Oh God.
you don't get lunch, and neither does Beavis.
No!
Later that night, Residua comes back in. And she's looking down at you into your crate. Cage, I keep saying crate. Down into your cage. And she looks at you and just says, I did my best. I understand that you're mad. But think about your sisters. Think about me. This wasn't... We didn't necessarily choose this. What would you say your facial expression is?
Very confused. Like, I'm still kind of like, you know, angry, but it kind of shifts to like an angry sort of like confused face.
You know, I looked out for you. There was...
Back to mean!
There was many times the other counselors that Dana wanted to get rid of you. You know. You've been here longer than anyone. I guess it just didn't catch for you. I guess I saw something in that. Maybe some of myself. And she like sucks her teeth a little bit.
What? Huh?
And she just like, her face is a little scrunched up.
Do I like get what she's inferring to?
Yeah, you think about it, and you try thinking about it actually, and it's almost fuzzy. You're like, no, I haven't been here that long. But you think about it, and you've been here your entire life, over a century and a fifth, almost. And you can't remember any other elf who's been here more than 50 years. And you don't remember anything before that.
So where are they taking? Where are they going?
And she continues.
Okay.
That was a hard thing I had to do. I'm trying to convince them to let me bring your friends back. But they see you as a traitor. I'm trying to convince them that we can still have some use for you. You've clearly proven yourself more than any of us thought you were capable of. She sort of just trails off a little bit.
Can I, like, rattle against the cage?
What's your facial expression? Like your demeanor?
Like, sad and desperate.
You see her lip almost quiver, and she looks over to you. She says, I know. You've been here too long. This place is not safe for you. I know that. I know it was a good thing for you to leave. I know you had to. I wish I had. Either.
That she could have left?
Well, she continues.
Oh.
Either when I was with the kindling, or with you. But I guess that didn't happen now, did it?
I shake my head. Damn.
You won't be in here much longer. I'll make sure of it.
Oh.
And she walks back towards the door and leaves, like wiping a tear.
That makes me scared. What if they kill us? You won't be here much longer. We're either gonna release you or we're gonna kill you. But, you know, you're not gonna be here.
Food is brought to you the next morning. Do you accept it?
Yeah. Is it the same person I headbutted?
Yes.
I kind of, you know, look at them.
They, instead of sliding it under the door, kick it under the door, and some of it falls off the leaves onto the dirt. You see their nose is a little crooked.
Oh, good. That hoe. I was gonna fucking offer like a book of sympathy and guilt, but no. Now I just kind of
Yeah.
like fuck you.
So at this point, we're at day like 9. Well, this is day 10. Day 9 was when you talked to Residual again. So you've been away from the Vanguard at this point. 21 days, almost 3 weeks. You know, if not yet, eventually though, they will be worried. I don't remember if you guys didn't explicitly say it, but in renting the horses and the cart, you would have had to have talked to Director. So he would have known your destination and approximately how long you would have been gone. So unless something happens here, it's only a matter of time, hopefully. If nothing happens here.
If
Day 13. It's now been like 3.5 weeks. You're nearing the point where if you guys had just left the Vanguard, visited for a day or two, and then gone back to the Vanguard, that you guys would have been home by now. So there's a little bit of hope in that. But on that 13th day, Residua comes back in. Not during breakfast, not during lunch, not during dinner, not any time in between, but while you're sleeping at night.
Oh.
And you see she's wearing an ashen gray cloak over her usual getup. And goes over to the cage and straight to it, and reaches out from under, like reaches into her cloak as if to grab something, and pulls out what looks to be like a cylindrical wooden tube with metal engraving, which is standout here in the kindling camp. And she says, I don't know if you learned what this is in your time outside, but I'm giving you 5 minutes. And she pushes the case under the door where you usually get your food, and slides a bottle of ink and a quill. Make me a culture check while I set up a timer.
Yeah. 16.
You recognize an insignia on the case. It is this logo. It is the crest of House Civis, one of the dragon-marked houses.
Oh, on the wanted poster.
They have the mark of scribing, granting various magical benefits to written and verbal communication. In your short time outside of the Ashbound, you learned that they are capable of sending long-distance magical messages. And I'd say with that role, you know that one of them, I believe I have this magic item somewhere. No, not like that. No, I do not. That's unfortunate. But it is called telescription paper, where you write a message on it. You think of a person, and you tear it off of the roll, and it gets magically teleported to them. And then, yeah. So, I am going to give you 5 minutes, and you can either tell me or type to me, probably type, preferably because it's like you scribing on this paper exactly what you are sending and to who. So, 3, 2, 1. 5 minutes. type, I will just say Residua is just staring at you very intently.
Oh shit. No! Don't look at it!
Keep going. You are at 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh god, there's so many mistakes.
2 minutes.
Hmm?
You can write as much as you want. There's a lot of paper. You have about 1.5 minutes left.
Oh dang.
A minute. The entire time, Residual is like looking over her shoulder back and forth. And she says, "Hurry up, I have to get going. They don't know I'm here." No, what's it called? At that point, Residua reaches back for the spell case through the cage. the scroll case.
Down.
Are you giving it to her?
Yeah.
She takes the case. You tear the paper, and you watch as it just poofs into smoke. She puts the rest of the scroll. She throws it onto the ground in the middle of the room, and you watch her snap, and it just bursts into flames. Then you watch nothing is left but the metal filigree from the case as she transmutes the ground and pushes it probably feet down and then covers up the hole. You watch as in front of you a piece of parchment just glides down onto the ground. And Residua goes to reach for it. Are you grabbing it or are you letting her grab
What? What is she trying to grab again?
You, after your piece of paper teleported away, you see a poof as a new, fresh piece of paper appears in front of you.
Can I try to grab it?
Yeah. You reach for it. I'll say just make a dexterity check. See who's faster on the roll. Or not on the roll, who's faster to grab it.
A 10.
You snatch it out of the air. And she says, "Alright, no, I need to get going. I understand you need to read this, but you're looking it over, and at a quick glance, the first word is hello. Then it is, you see, at a quick glance, you see that it is Director replying to you. That he probably won't be able to he probably will not message you back, even though he has the means, at least by paper. But he will probably send you messages, like long distance auditory messages into your head at random points to see when you are safe and alone to be able to talk back to him. And before you can read any more, Residua snaps it and then just burns it. She says, "I'm sorry, but I need to go."
I give a quick nod of approval. Can she hear me?
She
Or am I
cannot hear
still
you. You're still in the silence.
Oh.
She stops at the door and looks back at you and pauses for a second.
I give like a nod of approval.
It's interesting because in all your time having known Residua, she's not exactly, she hasn't been stern or mean. She was always a kind, caring woman, but she was never this emotional you ever saw. And she leaves. Over the next couple days, you receive messages, sending spells, that is, from House Civis, through House Civis, from the Vanguard, specifically Director, asking if you're okay, asking for more details. Where are you? What's the situation? And it later turns into planning. What's the layout of the camp? How many people do you presume are there? when would be a good time to get you. Reassurances that everything will be alright. And unless there's anything specific you want to tell me now to message to the Vanguard, we will probably leave it at that. That is everything leading up to the rescue mission.
I think the only thing that I would probably say is, like, if I remember correctly, it's like 2.5 days from Mary's word.
Yeah.
And that you're looking for, like, a bubble of, like, illusion magic. And that I'm underground. I've taken, like, I'm in a hut somewhere, but I've taken a path underground. Like, down. I don't remember if it was right or left. And then up again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Check the hut.
I will say towards you do coordinate with Residua, and she mentions that, like, she tells you to relay to the Vanguard that, like, a specific day to make the attempted rescue, as in her words, it is not during a pairing ceremony, so there won't be as many people there. And on the day of, she would give you a means to break out of your bindings.
Ooh.
And may even, if given the time, attempt to, on the spot, before shit hits the fan, resurrect your allies. So, we will attempt both resurrections during the... It is going to be... Residua is of a level that she can do resurrection rituals as opposed to just quick revives. So it is going to be right before the Vanguard arrives for the rescue attempt. You and Beavis in the hut contributing to essentially a skill challenge of trying to revive your allies. It's not necessarily a skill challenge. How it works is you try to contribute something, and if you succeed, the target number for the resurrection check goes down based on how good I think your contribution was. It's all arbitrary. It's how good I think it is. So it can be anything from, like, a...
Beavis getting naked again.
Yeah, Beavis getting naked again. To it could be a heartfelt speech, reaching out to the gods, helping magically, anything you can think of. And based on how much I think it would help.
Do I have any connections with gods? I mean, I am religious.
You would have more so praised, like, the forest and nature itself as a cycle, not necessarily
that's not a good enough
a specific
reason.
god. You could, like, try petitioning nature itself, like the earth, the cycle of life. But yeah, so that'll be very dramatic happening during that what's it called?
Smoke the same weed as Leah Torn.
During that rescue mission.
God, I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up because I don't need another like crime thing.
Yeah, you could also, if you want to, if you don't want to risk it during the, like, right before the battle, you can. I'll be out in a second. You could try to, what's it called? Just recover the bodies and resurrect them back at the Vanguard, where more people can contribute. But that's up to you. So just message me on whatever you decide, whether you want Residua to go through with doing that resurrection on the spot, or just retrieving the bodies. But yeah, that's all I've got.
Nice.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So, have a good night. Have a good Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I'll see you Saturday. Message
Unless
me.
Friday, because we were doing that Friendsgiving thing. Don't forget.
Or yeah, Friday, because we were doing Friendsgiving and Jimmy's birthday. But
Oh, I don't know about. We'll see if I'm still sick.
oh yeah, she's sick right now, so we'll see if we can do that. All right. Okay. So
If
goodbye,
not,
recording.
probably, like,
You bitch, Angel, you got sick.
She did get sick.
Maybe just don't go.
Yeah, just don't go. It'll just be us and Jimmy.
Bitch. Yeah. Okay.
Goodbye, recording. Adios.